So today's about Bluetooth. This whole month of May is going to be about smart home technology. So if you want to start getting smart home tech or just use any of these smart devices in the future, one thing that you do need to know about is Bluetooth. So let's get started. Is anyone here familiar with Bluetooth or have used Bluetooth before? So, what exactly is Bluetooth and why is Bluetooth important, right? So, from smartphones to headphones to Bluetooth printers and speakers, we use Bluetooth technology to free us from all the different wires on our computer and any other device that we may have. So, if Bluetooth didn't exist, basically we would have wires all through our household. We'd be tripping over wires as well. So, with the new technology of Bluetooth, we do not have to worry about that. So, I am going to do a brief history of Bluetooth, how Bluetooth was invented. I'm going to show you some Bluetooth technology and devices, and I'm going to show you where to find how to turn on Bluetooth on your smart devices as well. So, what exactly is Bluetooth? So, when someone says, just use Bluetooth or turn on your Bluetooth, it is basically a technology that allows devices to communicate with each other wirelessly. So, Bluetooth is not Wi Fi, Bluetooth is not cellular connection. Bluetooth is just one way that your smartphone or your tablet can communicate with another device. So, for example, instead of using cables or wires to connect your phone to your laptop or your laptop to a tablet, to your laptop to a printer, instead we use Bluetooth now to connect them through the air. And when I say through the air, of course I mean through radio waves. So if you want to think of it in a simple way, like when you're talking to someone over the phone, right? You don't use a wire to talk to someone, to your family member or friend with a wire, right? You use radio waves to talk with them. And that's the same thing of how Bluetooth works. So when your phone wants to communicate if with a smart TV, or if your phone wants to communicate with your printer, it uses radio waves to talk to each other. And that's what Bluetooth is all about. Anybody have any questions on that? All right, so let's learn about how Bluetooth was invented then. So on you can see here on the screen, this is the gentleman who created Bluetooth. His name goes by Dr. Jap Hartson. And back in 1994, he was able to create how can radio waves connect with one another. But not any radio waves, but short range radio waves. So he used to work at a mobile company, mobile terminal division in his country. And he wanted to figure out a way of how he can make a cell phone have more functions. What can a cell phone do that others cannot right now? Because at the time in the late 90s, cell phones were becoming the market, more people were buying them. So he wanted to think of something of how he could make smartphones more popular. So instead, he said, I'm going to try to make the first ever cell phone that has Bluetooth in it because he wanted to make headphones that were Bluetooth that can connect with your cell phone. So through his invention, he was able to find out or figure out how to make short range radio waves. So, for example, short range radio waves is when a cell phone can communicate to the device that is near you. So, let's say you're in your living room and you have your printer and you have your phone in your hand. Those are short range radio waves. They're not far apart. So very short range radio waves are about 30 feet to 100 feet, right? So Bluetooth is not very far. So for example, I'm here at the RSS center. I cannot use my phone right now with Bluetooth to connect to my TV that's in my house. That is way too far. Bluetooth is all about short range radio waves. You have to be close to the device. Does anybody have questions on that?
Yeah, do they have to be touching or just nearby?
They do not have to be touching. They just have exactly. They have to be nearby. So I would say after about 100 to 200 feet, the devices are not going to communicate with each other. I also muted everyone, so if you do have a question or need to speak, just unmute yourself and then you can mute again. Any other questions on that? All right. And what is the origin of the Bluetooth name, right? Why do we call it Bluetooth? So, for example, one of the managers of Intel at the time, so that is a computer company, Intel, his name was Jim Kardak, and he was from Intel. And in the late 90s, around like 1999, he was very fond of history and he was very fond of the King Harold, also known as Bluetooth Gormson. And he was known for uniting Denmark and Norway. And this king also had a dead tooth that was a color of dark blue and gray. So they called this king Blue Tooth. And because he was fond of history, he thought that this would be a very cool temporary code name for his this invention of short radio waves. So as you could see here, I actually added a quote of what he said. He said King Harold Bluetooth was famous for uniting Scandinavia, just as we intended to unite PC and cellular with a short range wireless link. So, what he's saying is that this king was known for uniting two countries, and Bluetooth should be known as the invention that unites a computer and the phone without wires. That is what Bluetooth is all about. And then the name just kind of stuck, right? Instead of it being a temporary name, they just thought that we'll keep Bluetooth as the official name. And that's why people call it Bluetooth. Um, any questions on that? All right. So, and we can see here on the screen, this is the first ever Bluetooth device. So at on the top of the screen, we have the first ever Bluetooth headset. And at the bottom, we have the first ever Bluetooth cell phone. So these two devices could connect with one of another without any wires 10 meters away. So if the headset at the top of the screen that you see right now was away more than 10 meters, it could not connect to the phone. But now, with Bluetooth technology, it has grown so much from 1999, of course. So that's why I say now you could have devices that go up to 100 feet, 200 feet, even I would say 300 feet would be the max of how far a Bluetooth device can connect with another. They haven't created anything right now at the moment that is larger. Well, not on the market to the average user like you and me. There's probably Bluetooth inventions in big corporations and companies that can go farther, but at the moment on the market, does anybody have any questions on that? You can unmute yourself or you can say it in the chat. Okay, if not, let's go on. Oops. So, what are some of the type of Bluetooth devices that exist right now? So, we have Bluetooth headsets, of course, right? So, I just showed you a picture of the first ever model of a Bluetooth headset, but you could see on the screen right now, I have a picture of something called AirPods. It's the white picture on the right hand corner. They're like in a small case. You may have seen it before or heard of it. And those are like the current Bluetooth um, headsets and headphones that people usually use. That is, of course, from Apple, but there are other companies that sell the same exact kind of equipment. You put them in your ear and you can listen to music or you can listen to phone conversations, right? So instead of putting your phone to your ear, you just put those two things in your ear, those two headphones in your ear, and you can just talk out loud and they can hear you. Those two headphones have microphones within them. So you can talk and they'll hear you without any wires connected. So someone when I did this class in this on the center on Tuesday, someone asked like you when you're walking down the street, you always see people just talking out loud to themselves, and you may think that they're talking to you. But in reality, they have those two things in their ear and they're having a phone conversation with someone. So that's what people usually use that for. Any questions on that? Okay, so next we also have Bluetooth speakers. So if you're someone here on the call that has an Amazon Alexa, then you probably are already familiar with Bluetooth speakers. But there are so many Bluetooth speakers now. So for example, what does that mean? You turn on your Bluetooth with your phone, you can select any song that you want and it will start playing directly to the Bluetooth speaker without any wires enabled. Also, if you have an Amazon Alexa, you could see here on the screen, I have a picture of Amazon Alexa. It's that black little circle with the blue ring around it. That is an Amazon Alexa. And all you would do for that is you talk to it. So you say, "Hi Alexa, can you play the current pop music? Play the current classical music," and it starts playing music without having, to connect to any wire into a computer or into a cell phone. You just speak to it. That's an Amazon Alexa. There's also Bluetooth keyboards, right? So the current keyboard that I have in my office uses Bluetooth and connects to the computer. I don't need to have a wire and connect it to my computer. There's Bluetooth printers now. So, for example, if you want to print out a picture that's on your phone, you can get a Bluetooth printer and tell your printer to print out whatever pictures you have on your phone, any documents you have from your doctor, but you do need to have a Bluetooth printer. It doesn't work for regular printers. There's also smartwatches that you could connect your phone with your smartwatch to track your steps. There's smartwatches now on the market where you can have phone conversations with your smartwatch. You can, send people a text message with your smartwatch. instead of having to type it on your phone. And lastly, another type of Bluetooth that people don't really associate is in your car. So like when when someone's driving in the car and they need to talk to someone over the phone, or maybe even send a message to someone, but of course you can't do that while you're driving. You can use your Bluetooth in your car and tell your car, send a message to so and so, or call so and so. And that is through the Bluetooth technology. Does anybody have any questions on that?
I have a question
Yes, go ahead.
regarding the headsets. Does your phone always have to be on in order to use the headsets?
Yes, you cannot turn off your phone or it won't
Hmm.
work. So
Hmm.
yes, they do need to be on 24/7.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions on these type of Bluetooths? Oh, I see some questions in the chat. Uh, okay, so someone said in the chat, how do walls and floors affect the range? So yes, well, when Bluetooth first came out, of course, that was a big problem, right? And that's why they didn't have enough range, only 10 meters, because walls and floors did interfere with the radio waves, kind of connecting with one another, jumping off of one another. But now Bluetooth has expanded from how it was in 1999, and they have, I don't know how they done it, but they have created ways where the radio waves now with Bluetooth do not interfere with one another. They're actually, I don't know how they created it through mathematical equations, but now Bluetooth is so strong that with a wall or a ceiling, it'll still be able to connect. So, for example, if you have a smart TV in a living room and you're in your bedroom, you can still connect even if you're in another room, even if there's walls interfering, the radio waves will still find a way to connect from your living room to your bedroom. And that is just because the technology is getting more powerful and they were able to find a way to do that. I hope I answered your question. Also the same, like if you were talking about more outside, with outside and buildings and things like that, that is also going to affect. So for example, I lost my cell phone on the bus one day, but I do have those headphones that you see here on the screen. They were in my ear. So the music was still playing in my ear, but my phone was no longer with me. My phone was on the bus. But since I was walking and the bus was kind of next to me, they were still able to connect because that's how strong Bluetooth has become. But of course, once the bus kept going down blocks, I was no longer able to hear the music anymore because now the bus had my phone and it kept going down
Mm.
streets. Yeah. But with Bluetooth, there is some way where the radio waves can connect even through buildings and walls and floors. That's why, for example, when I show you later today, where to find Bluetooth, you may see some devices of people in your building. If you live in an apartment, you may be able to see some devices of people from the floor above you. Or when I did it in the center, people were able to see devices of those around them. All right. So another thing that I just want to briefly mention is there is something with Bluetooth now for accessibility, right? So there are Bluetooth hearing aids on the market now that kind of work the same way you would have a hearing aid, but they do much more. So with Bluetooth hearing aids, you can actually use your hearing aid and connect them with different devices in your household that also has Bluetooth. So for example, if you have a Bluetooth hearing aid, you can use that and connect it with your smartphone. So what does that mean, right? So if you have a Bluetooth and you connect it to your smartphone, that means that when someone calls you, you can have that phone conversation sent directly through your hearing aid. You no longer have to put your phone to your ear. You can just talk to them like how you would usually do with a hearing aid on and having your phone set down on a table or something. Anything that you connect your Bluetooth hearing aid to, the sound is going to go directly to the hearing aid so you can get a better sound quality. So if you're someone here today that even has a smart TV or maybe wants to get a smart TV in the future, right? You can connect your Bluetooth hearing aid to your smart TV, and the movie that you're playing or the TV show that you're playing, the sound will go directly to your hearing aid so you can hear it better. Same thing with music as well. So any sound that is coming through your smartphone, maybe you have a tablet or a smart TV, any of that sound can go directly to the Bluetooth hearing aid. Does anybody have any questions on that?
Does it have to be a special hearing aid or any kind of hearing aid?
So when I did some research on this, anyone like if you heard of Amazon, right? There are a
Mhm.
bunch of different Bluetooth hearing aids on Amazon that you can get that range in different prices depending on what exactly you want it to do. So it doesn't really have to be a prescription one. I've seen it on Amazon. But
Mhm.
if you are someone that has an hearing aid, I would say to consult with your doctor first because they probably will, let you know which ones are the best or the best for you. And but this is becoming like a big thing on the market, these type of hearing aids. But I would say to talk to your doctor first. But I did see that there are some already available on Amazon to buy and ship it directly to your house. Any other questions on that? Okay. So now that we know all about the history of Bluetooth and how it works, I'm going to tell you some language that people associate Bluetooth with. So if you ever heard the word pairing with Bluetooth, I'm going to tell you what it means. So then next time you get Bluetooth devices, you now know how to do it. So, whenever you connect two devices for the first time ever, you call that pairing. So, if you have a smart TV and you want to connect your smartphone to your smart TV, you have to pair them. If you want to connect your smartphone to your Bluetooth printer, you have to pair them. So, any single time you connect two devices for the first ever time, you have to approve the connection, right? So let's say you get a Bluetooth printer and you want to connect your phone with it. You have to allow your phone to connect to that device because that is security purposes. So you may see a message on your phone that says, would you like your printer to connect, right? You have to say yes on your phone. And whenever you connect the two devices for the first time, it should always remember that device. So any future connections will happen automatically. So once you connect your phone to your Bluetooth printer or your phone to your Bluetooth speaker, your phone to maybe headphones that you might get, you do not have to pair them again. It should always remember that those two devices are connected. And if you want to know how many devices can you connect at one time, right now with the Bluetooth technology, you can only connect up to 8 devices. So if you're very tech savvy and you have all these different Bluetooth devices, after 8 devices, your phone is going to say that you cannot connect any other device anymore. So if you have like your headphones, your speaker, your tablet, your smart TV, your printer, you only have room for about like 3 more devices. After that, you can't really connect anymore until they um, create an even stronger type of Bluetooth where you can connect more. Does anybody have questions on this? Okay, so now that you know what pairing means, I have 2 slides, one slide for iPhones, which is Apple, of course, and then I have a slide for Android phones to show you where would you find Bluetooth and, to see what devices are around you and how to connect to them, right? So for Bluetooth on an iPhone, you have to go to your settings on your phone. And where is the settings? The settings is the gray gear icon. So it's gray, it's an app on your phone. It says settings. Once you click on it, you want to find where it says Bluetooth. It's usually at the top of the screen, right under Wi-Fi. And when you click on it, you should see exactly what is shown on the screen here, where it says your devices, if you have any, or other devices. Other devices means the technology that's around you that you have not connected to or paired with. So let's say, for example, you're doing this with me right now and you see on the screen maybe a Samsung TV or an Alexa, something like that, you know that those belong to you. Those are probably your devices, but you never connected with it. But if you live in an apartment, a building, you may see lists of other people's devices, maybe someone down the hall from you, or maybe someone that lives above or below you. So you don't really want to click on their devices. And even if you did by accident, you wouldn't be able to connect because that person would have to approve, and they wouldn't approve your connection. Anybody that has Apple devices have any questions on this? So let's say, for example, you don't have a smart TV, you don't have a Bluetooth printer, you don't have a smartwatch, you don't have Bluetooth headphones, right? Of course, you're not going to even see anything in your Bluetooth section, right? So you don't really have to worry about it. Going to Bluetooth in your phone is only when you have something ready to connect to. So if you go out in the future and you buy Bluetooth headphones, then you would come back here to connect them. But right now, you really don't have to worry about this screen if you don't have any devices to connect with. This is just usually the place where you want to connect a device with another device. Any last questions from those who have Apple? So if you are someone that has an Android, which is a Samsung phone, LG phone, Google, any of those categories, it is the same exact steps where you want to go to the settings app on your phone. And on the settings app, you want to click on the word that says connection. So if you see on the screen here, the first picture, it says connections all the way at the top in red in a box. Once you click on connections, you should see the word that says Bluetooth. And when you click on Bluetooth, you're going to see different available devices to connect to. So, like I said, if you live in a building, you may see devices of people that live across from you, above you, below you. You may see some of your own smart technology that's in your own household. Um, and maybe you never connected the two of them. So if you wanted to, you could touch on it to connect it, to pair them, right? So when you connect one device for the first time ever to another device, that is called pairing. Any other questions from those who have Apple or Android on this slide?
I had rented a car a few months ago, and my phone paired up to the speakers in the car. But then I
Uh-huh.
was having trouble unpairing it.
Oh,
So
do you have an iPhone or do you have
I
an
have an
Android?
iPhone.
Okay, so in order to unpair, you have to tell your phone to forget the device.
Okay.
So let's just go back to the screen. So you could see here on the screen, it says John's Apple Watch connected and then headphones not connected, right?
Mhm.
So when you click on the little I for information, or even by just tapping on where it says John's Apple Watch, it should give you an option to say, forget this device or forget this network. And that's
Okay.
you basically unpairing the two together.
Okay. All right.
If it says not connected, that just means then the two devices are no longer working with one
Mhm.
another. But if you do have something old, like you said, you rented a car, you shouldn't
Right.
have it in your list of Bluetooth anymore. You should tell your phone to forget that device. Um, just for security purposes, which I will discuss right now in the next slide. So now that we learned everything about Bluetooth, the history of Bluetooth, how to, connect one device to another, of course, we have to be safe with Bluetooth, right? Because anything can happen with any new technology that comes out. So these are some tips on how to use Bluetooth safely. I'm going to go in order from left to right. So install security patches and updates. What does that mean? So if you're someone today that has an iPhone and your iPhone says there's a new update, it's going to update in the nighttime at 3 a.m., or do you want to update it now? You should say yes that you want to update your phone. You should not keep ignoring that message and never update the security, software updates that your phone gives you. And why is that? Well, because updates are not just ways to make your phone prettier or a new display. That's not really what updates are usually for all the time. Most of the time, Apple gives us updates because of security reasons. They're telling us that they found a glitch in their system and now they're giving us a new update so they can fix that glitch that happened. So, there have been cases with Bluetooth where, especially recently in 2020, hackers were able to get into Apple software through the Bluetooth. So, what did Apple do? As soon as they found that out, they sent out security updates to everyone's phone so they can change that right away. So, whenever something happens with Apple or Android or Google, they send us updates because they want our phones to be safe, especially with things like Bluetooth now, where you can connect with one device to another. So whether you have an Android, Samsung, iPhone, regularly update those phones. If it says there's an update on the phone, just say yes because it's probably for security reasons. Another thing is the second one is make your Bluetooth device not discoverable. So you may be asking, what does that mean, or how do you even do that, right? So if we go back quickly to this screen, if you have an iPhone, you see here at the top, Bluetooth is in green, right? You could see green means on. So if we turned off our Bluetooth, what are we doing? We're telling anyone around us that our device no longer has Bluetooth on, which means it is not going to be discoverable by other people. So when would you turn Bluetooth off, or where would you turn Bluetooth off, right? Same thing with Android, you have an on and off. On means blue and you flick it off, it'll turn gray. So where would we, turn it off? So if you're in a public space, so in a place you're not familiar with, maybe at the in the train station or the bus stop or very crowded places, you should turn your Bluetooth off if you're not using it, right? So if you're someone that doesn't have Bluetooth headphones, you're not in your house to connect your smart TV or your printer, you're someone that doesn't have a smartwatch, there's no reason for your Bluetooth to be on. You should turn it off. Any questions on that? Okay. So yeah, if you don't have any of these smart, technology, especially when you're going outside, there's no reason for it to be on. But when you get back to your house or your apartment, of course you can turn it on if you have a smart TV, if you have a speaker, if you have a printer. Yes, then you could turn it back on. But when you're outside in crowded public places, you wouldn't want to keep it on just in case any malicious people, hackers are around you and they're trying to connect with your Bluetooth. Of course, with Apple and Google, someone can't really connect to you with Bluetooth unless they're like a really tech savvy hacker, and that's what, their current job is to be a hacker. But the average person like you and me, no, we cannot just use Bluetooth and send viruses to someone's phone. You cannot do that. But if they were a real hacker that, they studied that and that's their job to go to public places, you just want to be safe and turn that off. But of course, that is a very small chance that would happen. But just to be on the safe side, if you don't need to use Bluetooth outside, there's no reason to have it on. Thirdly, don't share any sensitive information via Bluetooth. So, for example, this is mostly again for outside purposes. So, if you're someone that brings your tablet to the park or brings um, your laptop to the park, if maybe you do that, you wouldn't want to be doing any banking or shopping outside in public places. Right? Because how do people connect their devices outside? Like how do you when you go to the park or something, you or Starbucks, you may see that people have their laptops or their tablets while they're drinking coffee because they're using Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi in the Starbucks to connect their devices. But if you ever plan on doing those things, you should not be doing any banking or shopping, anything with financial details in public. Fourth, be careful who you connect with, right? So, if someone wants to send you something via Bluetooth, or if they say, "Hi, can I send this to your phone via Bluetooth?" Maybe you haven't really encountered that, but you can use send people stuff with Bluetooth if you connect your phones with one another. So if that ever happens to you, just make sure you know who that person is, right? Don't like go to, once again to a store or the park and a stranger says, "Oh, can I send this to you?" Like make sure you know who that person is before they try to send you anything. Now we're in the bottom row. Like I said, turn your Bluetooth off. If you don't have any Bluetooth devices in public, there's no reason for Bluetooth to be on. Um, However, if you do turn Bluetooth off outside, some things on your phone won't necessarily function the way they were intended to be. So what does that mean? So for example, let's say you're outside and you use, or your family member has you on your phone to like track your location, right? I know some people, there's this app on both the iPhone and the Android called Find My, where you can see someone's location, right? So let's say you're someone who likes to go on walks or hikes or jogs, or you're independent and you like to, go to the stores on your own, but you may have a medical condition. You may need to know, the person or a family member may need to know where you are in cases of emergencies. So when you turn Bluetooth off, your location sometimes turns off as well. So maybe you don't, let's say you're going to the park by yourself, or you're going off to the store, you may want to keep Bluetooth on if someone is, checking your location so they can know where you are. But that is specifically for people that use Find My, and there's a family member or friend that checks on their location. If that doesn't really associate with you, then you could turn Bluetooth off. Any questions on that? Okay. Also, don't pair in public, right? If you get a brand new headphones for your birthday or for Christmas or for some holiday, or if you just buy it on your own, don't go out and outside to pair them, right? You should do it in your household. When you pair in public, right? When you connect your device to another device, your devices become vulnerable to those around you, especially if there's someone bad out there, like a hacker. They can see that you're pairing them for the first time. You want to do that in your household where you're secure with your Wi-Fi or cellular connection. You don't want to be outside and do that. And lastly, unpair as needed. So someone today on this meeting said that they rented a car and they used Bluetooth when they rented a car. Well, if you're no longer using that car, you want to tell your phone to unpair it, right? Because the next person who rents that car may be able to see that your device was once connected to that car. So you don't want to have people see your name or have any type of information about you. So if you no longer use a device, in that case of renting a car, you should tell your phone, I no longer use this, please forget it. So, whether that's headphones, whether that's a phone, whether that's a tablet, if you no longer use a device in the future, you need to tell your phone that it is no longer with you. You no longer have it. Any other final questions or thoughts on any of the presentation today? You could unmute yourself or you could say it in the chat.
I was just wondering, uh, uh, what limits might there be as far as transferring information? Like, can we send a big picture or video or things like that? Or like,
So
is there a
it,
maximum amount?
yeah, it depends on the device that you're sending it to, right? So, let's say you're sending it to the printer. The printer can print any big files, documents. Same with like sending it to a tablet or a laptop. Let's say it's like a very large video, like a 4 or 5 minute long video, and you're sending it to a tablet or a laptop or a smart TV. That is going to just take some time to finally connect, but it could still do it. It's just going to take a bit longer.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions about anything that we learned today?